How can you ask your mom for forgiveness after sneaking out of the house to meet a guy and lying when you're not allowed to date? And how do you get to keep dating him and still have a good relationship with your mom? Well, that's quite a mouthful. So let's break it down. First off, how can you ask your mother for forgiveness? Nobody has the power to forgive anybody else. The only thing they can do is forgive themselves for the judgments they made about themselves or about the other person. So when you're saying that you want to ask your mother for forgiveness, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a position of less than, and that she has power over you. It's just like apologizing. So if you're apologizing because you did something by mistake, you didn't realize it, that it was against the rules, well, that's one thing. But you know it's against the rules. So your apology doesn't really mean anything because that's showing disrespect for the rules and who made the rules. So it's really you're disrespecting your mother. So apologizing to her doesn't really do anything. It's just more feeding your own ego. It sounds to me like you want to have a good relationship with your mother. But here's the thing. If you're a minor, which I'm assuming you are, you don't really have rights as a minor. And I know I have 3 teenagers. I feel like I'm a pretty fair parent. There's no way that a parent can actually be a parent without setting up rules that their children are just not going to like. It's really a matter of you trusting your mother. If she doesn't want you to date, as long as you live under her roof, and especially as a minor, you have to do what she tells you to do. But the point is, she's paying the bills. She's taking care of you. If you don't want to follow the rules, if you don't want to listen to her, then you have every right to go out and become an emancipated minor. I got in a fight with one of my sons a couple months ago where he's living with his mom and stepdad, and we were trying to get all the kids. 2 were living with her and 1's living with me, and we were trying to get them all in the same schedule of when to go to sleep and things like that, you know, with COVID and things of that nature. He refused, and because he wasn't in my house, there's not a whole lot I could do. But I said, if you want to come stay with me, you're going to have to follow my rules. Part of life is, and this is how it's always been, you got to listen to your parents. And guess what? You're not going to agree with your parents all the time. And sometimes you just have to suck it up. If your mom tells you you can't date and you go out and you date, then she's within her right to lock you in your room because she is responsible for you. And when you sneak out, and if something were to happen to you, then she would be liable for it because she's responsible for you. And you're putting your mother in all sorts of compromising positions. My suggestion is to sit down with her and have a real heart-to-heart and explain how you feel, and maybe you can work out some sort of compromise. Maybe a chaperone date. Again, I don't know how old you are, and I'm not sure what your culture is, so that has a lot to do with it. But let's just say that it's not a cultural thing and that you're 15, 16 years old. Also, I don't know how old this boy is. If he's not a minor and you 2 were to have sex, that would be considered statutory rape. Your mother could have this man put in jail, or at the least have to register as a sex offender. So these are things that parents have to deal with every single day of the week. So in short, have a heart-to-heart with your mother. See if you can come to some sort of compromise. It's important to have structure and discipline, especially when you're a minor, because when you have your own kids, the same exact thing's going to come up and you're going to want to know how to deal with it. And if you didn't like the way that your mother dealt with it, well, when you're a parent, you can do it the way that you want to do it. I remember one time that my curfew, I think it was midnight when I was 17 years old. I came home from a party or wherever I was at, and then I snuck out the window, pushed my car down the street, and went out till 3 a.m. Came back in my window, and the next day I told my mom that I'd snuck out, and she took my car away for a week. So I was really, really upset. I can't tell you. I still remember to this day, and I'm just about 53 years old. I learned about respect and about rules. You know, with my kids, the same thing. It's a lot tougher for parents now than it's ever been because there's so many different parents that don't care about their kids, or I shouldn't say don't care about it, but they're not going to set down rules. They let them stay out to all hours, past legal curfews. And so not having any structure when these kids get older, you know, it's going to be tough to find work. So there's a lot of different things going on here. But again, set up a time to have a sit-down talk with your mom. Tell her how much you love her and how much you care for her. Tell her what you did and take the punishment. Maybe you can work something out, maybe not. But this is just one of those things that it's your mother's call. I hope that helps. If you feel what I had to say was of value, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.